felt a profound sense of disconnection, an unsettling awareness that you perceive the world differently from those around you? Perhaps you've experienced moments of clarity so intense they felt like a jolt, shattering comfortable illusions and revealing a raw, often uncomfortable truth beneath the surface. This isn't just an intellectual shift. It's a fundamental reorientation of your entire being, a spiritual awakening that, while often romanticized, culminates with its own unique and unspoken set of profound challenges. It's a path less traveled, not because it lacks beauty, but because it demands an unparalleled courage to face what most choose to ignore. Today, we embark on an ambitious journey into the depths of the human psyche. Guided by the profound wisdom of Carl Jung, we will explore a topic rarely discussed in the glowing narratives of spiritual enlightenment, the intrinsic pains that accompany genuine awakening. Forget the idyllic images of boundless bliss and effortless serenity. True spiritual awakening, as Jung understood, is a transformative process that brings with it a crucible of suffering, a confrontation with both the personal and collective unconscious that can be profoundly unsettling. This isn't a journey for the faint of heart, but it is one that promises an unparalleled depth of understanding and an authentic connection to the very core of your being. Imagine, for a moment, standing on the edge of a bustling city square. The vibrant cacophony of life swirls around you. Laughter, hurried footsteps, the drone of conversations about daily trivialities. But you hear a different kind of music, a subtle discord beneath the surface, a whisper of the collective unconscious yearning for something more. You see the masks people wear, the roles they play, the unconscious projections that dictate their interactions. And suddenly, the square, once a symbol of connection, transforms into a vast, echoing chasm, separating you from the very people you once felt a part of. This isn't just a feeling of being different. It's a profound, almost visceral realization of a fundamental shift in your being, a chasm that widens with every new insight. This is the anguish of profound alienation, the first unspoken pain of the spiritually awakened. As one's consciousness expands, the comfortable consensus reality, a collective dream that most people inhabit, begins to fray at the edges. What once felt normal, natural, and unifying now feels superficial, even illusory. The values, priorities, and conversations that once defined social interaction suddenly seem hollow, lacking the depth and meaning that the awakened soul now craves. It's akin to learning a new language that no one else around you speaks, leaving you with a wealth of profound thoughts and feelings, but no common vocabulary to express them. Jung's concept of individuation, the process of becoming a whole and integrated individual, inherently involves a separation from the collective psyche. This separation is not a rejection of humanity, but a necessary step towards discovering one's unique spiritual center. However, this journey often comes at the cost of feeling like an outsider. The individuated person, having confronted their shadow and integrated aspects of their unconscious, no longer fits neatly into predefined social roles or adheres unquestioningly to collective norms. Their perspective becomes too vast, too nuanced, too deeply rooted in an internal truth that often clashes with external expectations. Consider the everyday interactions that once felt comforting. Now, small talk can feel like a torment, a superficial dance around the edges of reality. Discussions about celebrity gossip, consumer trends, or trivial grievances can trigger a deep internal dissonance. The awakened person yearns for conversations about meaning, purpose, the nature of reality, the depths of the human spirit. Topics that often elicit blank stares or polite changes of subject from those still comfortably nestled within the collective unconscious. This creates a painful sense of loneliness, not from being physically alone, but from the inability to share the most profound aspects of one's inner world. The pain isn't just about feeling different. It's about the erosion of a sense of belonging. The awakened individual, may look at their friends, family, or colleagues and feel a surge of affection, yet simultaneously experience an unbridgeable gap in understanding. How do you explain the subtle energies you perceive, the symbolic messages? In everyday life, the interconnectedness of all things, when others are focused solely on the immediate, the tangible, the material, this can lead to a profound sadness, a quiet grief for the connections that once felt whole, but now feel fractured by the very expansion of consciousness. This alienation can manifest as a subtle, persistent ache, a feeling of being a foreigner in one's own land. It requires immense internal strength to navigate this chasm, to maintain compassion for others while remaining true to one's own deepened perception. It's a testament to the courage of the awakened soul that they continue to seek connection, even when the common ground feels increasingly scarce. The challenge becomes finding ways to bridge this gap, to communicate without compromising the truth of one's experience, or to find solace in the company of the few who also walk this path, however rare they may be. Ultimately, this pain of alienation is a signpost, a confirmation that one has indeed stepped onto a path less traveled, a path of deeper insight and greater awareness. It's a bittersweet acknowledgement that the very growth that liberates the spirit also separates it, at least temporarily, from the unexamined collective. But within this solitude, there is also the potential for profound self-reliance and an unwavering connection to one's authentic self, a connection that no external validation can ever replace. Imagine a vibrant tapestry, intricately woven with threads of comforting narratives, societal myths, and personal delusions. For years, you've admired its beauty, its reassuring patterns. Then, one day, a single thread comes loose, and suddenly, the entire fabric begins to unravel before your eyes. You see the gaps, the shoddy workmanship, the stark, often brutal reality hidden beneath the surface. This isn't just a minor disappointment. It's a catastrophic paradigm shift, a shattering of cherished illusions that leaves you exposed to the raw, unfiltered truth of existence. This is the relentless weight of truth's unveiling, the second unspoken pain of the spiritually awakened. Awakening isn't merely about seeing good things. It's fundamentally about seeing things as they are, without the comforting filters of denial, projection, or wishful thinking. This means confronting the collective shadow, the repressed, disowned aspects of humanity that manifest as systemic injustices, environmental destruction, political corruption, and the myriad forms of suffering that pervade our world. It means seeing the hypocrisy, the unconscious cruelty, and the sheer inertia of collective ignorance that perpetuate these realities. For the unawakened, these truths are often too disturbing to fully acknowledge. They are relegated to the periphery of consciousness, rationalized away, or simply ignored. But for the awakened individual, these truths become glaring, undeniable, and profoundly painful. The veils drop, and the world is revealed in its stark complexity, its beauty interwoven with its horror, its potential for good intertwined with its capacity for immense destruction. There is no longer the luxury of blissful ignorance. The burden of knowing becomes a heavy weight on the soul. Jung spoke extensively about the importance of confronting the shadow, not just individually, but collectively. He understood that refusing to acknowledge the darker aspects of human nature only leads to their projection onto others, fueling conflict and suffering. The awakened person, having embarked on their own shadow work, becomes acutely aware of these collective projections. They see the scapegoating, the tribalism, the unconscious drives that lead to oppression and violence. This awareness is not merely intellectual. It is deeply empathic, causing a resonance with the suffering that can feel overwhelming. The pain also stems from the realization that many of the narratives we've been taught about progress, justice, fairness, and the inherent goodness of institutions are often incomplete, distorted, or outright false. The loss of these Comforting illusions can trigger a sense of grief, a mourning for the world one thought they lived in. It's like discovering that the fairy tale you believed in your entire life was merely a carefully constructed lie. This disillusionment can lead to a profound sense of cynicism or despair, if not properly integrated, as the mind grapples with the chasm between ideal and reality. Furthermore, the truth's unveiling extends to personal relationships. The awakened individual begins to see the unconscious patterns, the unaddressed wounds, and the unexamined motivations in those closest to them. This can be deeply unsettling, as it challenges previously held perceptions and may necessitate difficult conversations or even changes in relationships. The courage to see others truly, without idealization or projection, is a painful yet ultimately liberating act, but it often comes with the cost of confronting uncomfortable realities about those we love. Ultimately, this pain is a necessary purification. It strips away the inauthentic, the false, and the superficial, leaving behind a raw, unvarnished reality. While initially agonizing, this confrontation with truth lays the foundation for genuine wisdom and compassion. It fosters a profound sense of responsibility, not to fix everything, but to live authentically and consciously in the face of what is. The awakened person learns to bear the weight of truth, not by denying it, but by integrating it into a broader understanding of existence. Imagine standing before a mirror, expecting to see a familiar, well-groomed reflection. Instead, the mirror reveals not just your physical form, but every hidden flaw, every suppressed impulse, every dark thought you've ever had. It shows you the parts of yourself you've meticulously hidden, even from your own conscious awareness. And then, the mirror demands that you not only acknowledge these aspects, but also embrace them, integrate them, and understand their place within your totality. This isn't a fleeting glance. It's an unending, often brutal, process of excavation and acceptance. This is the agony of perpetual self-confrontation, the unending dance with the shadow, the third unspoken pain of the spiritually awakened. Spiritual awakening, in the Jungian sense, is fundamentally about the process of individuation, and at the heart of individuation lies the courageous, often terrifying, confrontation with the shadow. The shadow is not merely the bad part of us. It is everything we have disowned, everything that does not fit with our conscious ego ideal. It contains our inferior functions, our primitive impulses, our shame, guilt, and repressed desires, but also undeveloped positive qualities. For most people, the shadow remains largely unconscious, projected onto others, or kept safely locked away in the psyche's cellar. But for the awakened individual, the journey inward demands that this cellar door be opened. The initial encounters can be shocking, revealing aspects of oneself that are deeply uncomfortable, even repugnant. It's the realization that the monster you feared in the world often resides, in some form, within your own being. This can lead to intense self-criticism, shame, and a profound sense of internal struggle as the ego resists acknowledging these disowned parts. Jung taught that the shadow is not to be annihilated or eradicated, but integrated. This means accepting its existence, understanding its origins, and finding ways to express its energy constructively rather than destructively. This integration is not a one-time event. It is a lifelong process. Every new level of consciousness, every new challenge, can reveal another layer of the shadow, demanding further introspection and acceptance. The awakened person understands that spiritual growth is not about becoming perfect or purely light, but about becoming whole, encompassing both light and shadow. This perpetual self-confrontation is agonizing because it requires constant humility and an unwavering commitment to truth, even when that truth is deeply unflattering. It means taking responsibility for one's own unconscious motivations, projections, and destructive patterns. It means acknowledging that even with increased awareness, one is still profoundly human, still susceptible to flaws and imperfections. The ego, which thrives on its self-image of goodness and competence, finds this process profoundly threatening, leading to internal resistance and suffering. The emotional and psychological toll of shadow work cannot be overstated. It can involve revisiting past traumas, confronting deep-seated fears, and experiencing intense emotional releases. There are moments of despair, doubt, and exhaustion, where the desire to simply retreat into unconsciousness is overwhelming. Yet, the awakened soul understands that this painful excavation is essential for genuine transformation, for unlocking the hidden gold within the darkness, and for preventing the shadow from unconsciously dictating one's life and relationships. Ultimately, the agony of perpetual self-confrontation is a testament to the depth of one's commitment to psychological and spiritual honesty. It is the crucible in which the true self is forged, refined by fire and polished by insight. While never truly ending, this ongoing dance with the shadow leads to a profound sense of authenticity, self-acceptance, and a deeper, more compassionate understanding of the human condition, both within oneself and in others. That imagine having a profound, life-altering experience, a glimpse behind the curtain of ordinary reality, that reveals an immense sacred significance to existence. Suddenly, the trivial concerns that once occupied your days, the latest trends, consumer desires, the endless pursuit of fleeting pleasures, lose all their luster. They become insipid, hollow, and utterly meaningless in the face of the vast, awe-inspiring mystery you've encountered. This isn't just a shift in priorities. It's a deep spiritual hunger that cannot be sated by anything less than authentic meaning and purpose. This is the burden of meaning and the triviality of the mundane, a fourth unspoken pain of the spiritually awakened. Once the soul has tasted the profound depths of meaning, the superficiality of much of modern life becomes not just uninteresting, but actively painful. Small talk, gossip, the relentless pursuit of material possessions, and the endless distractions of entertainment can feel like a torment, a waste of precious time and energy that could be dedicated to something more profound. The awakened person's internal compass has been recalibrated, pointing steadfastly towards the sacred, the archetypal, and the truly significant. Jung himself emphasized the crucial role of meaning in human life, especially in the second half of life. He observed that many psychological disturbances stemmed from a lack of meaning, a spiritual void that material success could never fill. For the awakened individual, this search for meaning becomes paramount. They are driven by an inner imperative to align their lives with their deepest values, to contribute to something greater than themselves, and to explore the mysteries of the psyche and the cosmos. This drive is not a choice. It is an inherent pull of the self, the organizing center of the total personality. The pain arises from the constant dissonance between this profound inner drive and the external world, which often seems indifferent or even hostile to such pursuits. The awakened person often finds themselves struggling to engage with conversations or activities that feel utterly devoid of substance. They may experience frustration, impatience, or a deep sense of loneliness when others seem content with what feels to them like spiritual starvation. The constant yearning for depth can make the superficial feel like a heavy, suffocating blanket. Consider the challenge of navigating a consumer-driven society when one's values have shifted to the non-material. The allure of new gadgets, fashionable clothing, or expensive experiences diminishes significantly when the soul yearns for connection, authenticity, and spiritual growth. This can lead to feelings of being out of sync, of not quite belonging, and of having to constantly explain or justify one's choices to a world that often measures success by external metrics rather than internal richness. Moreover, this burden of meaning can also manifest as a heightened sense of responsibility. Once one perceives the interconnectedness of all things and the profound implications of individual actions, the desire to live a life of integrity and purpose becomes intense. This can lead to internal pressure, a feeling that one must constantly strive to embody their awakened understanding, to live in alignment with their deepest truths. The trivialities of daily life can feel like obstacles, distractions from this essential work of the soul. Ultimately, this pain is a sacred hunger, a divine discontent that propels the awakened individual towards greater depths of existence. While it can be challenging to navigate a world that often prioritizes the superficial, this relentless pursuit of meaning is the engine of true spiritual evolution. It forces the individual to constantly re-evaluate, to prune away the inessential, and to cultivate a life rich in purpose and authentic connection, even if it means walking a path less understood by others. Imagine possessing a unique lens that allows you to see intricate patterns, hidden connections, and subtle energies that remain invisible to the naked eye. You perceive the world in a richer, more nuanced way, understanding the deeper currents beneath the surface. Yet, when you try to describe what you see, the words fall flat, the concepts are alien, and those around you merely smile politely, unable to grasp the profundity of your vision. You are a seer in a world that, for the most part, is content with its blindness, and this unique perspective brings with it a profound, often isolating, solitude. This is the solitude of vision, the fifth unspoken pain of the spiritually awakened. As consciousness expands and deepens, the individual gains insights and perspectives that diverge significantly from the collective. This isn't just about having different opinions. It's about perceiving reality itself through a fundamentally altered filter. The awakened person sees symbolic meanings in everyday events, understands the interplay of archetypal forces, and recognizes the profound interconnectedness of all life. This vision is a gift, but it's also a burden, as it creates an inherent separation from those who do not share it. Jung's concept of individuation highlights this journey towards unique selfhood, a process that inherently moves one away from unconscious conformity. The individuated person stands as an individual, not merely a member of the collective. This standing apart is not an act of arrogance, but a natural consequence of having integrated more of the unconscious and developed a unique relationship with the self. This unique perspective, while empowering, also means that one's inner world, one's profound understandings, often remain largely incommunicable. The pain of this solitude stems from the inability to fully share the richness of one's inner landscape. How do you articulate the profound experience of encountering an archetype, the subtle guidance of synchronicity, or the deep resonance of the collective unconscious, to someone whose reality is strictly confined to the concrete and rational? The effort to explain often leads to frustration, misunderstanding, or even being dismissed as eccentric or delusional. Over time, the awakened individual learns to guard these deeper insights, holding them close, knowing that they are not meant for every ear. This solitude is not necessarily a negative state. It can be a source of immense inner strength and peace. However, it is a solitude that carries a certain weight. There's a quiet resignation that comes with accepting that one's deepest truths may never be fully understood or validated by the external world. It requires a profound self-reliance, a comfort with one's own company, and an unwavering trust in one's inner knowing, even when it diverges sharply from popular opinion or conventional wisdom. Furthermore, the solitude of vision can also manifest as a sense of responsibility. Having glimpsed deeper truths, the awakened person may feel a quiet imperative to live in alignment with them, to embody these insights in their daily life. This can be a lonely path, as it often means making choices that are unconventional, challenging the status quo, or prioritizing spiritual values over material ones. The external world may not understand or support these choices, reinforcing the sense of solitary navigation. Ultimately, the solitude of vision is the price and privilege of genuine awakening. It is the quiet strength developed when one learns to draw sustenance from within, rather than relying on external validation. While it may bring moments of poignant loneliness, it also fosters an unbreakable connection to the self, a profound inner peace, and an unwavering commitment to one's unique path. It is the quiet majesty of the soul that sees clearly. Even if it sees alone, we have journeyed through the often unseen landscape of spiritual awakening, unveiling the 5 profound, unspoken pains that mark the path of those who dare to truly see. From the anguish of profound alienation and the relentless weight of truth's unveiling, to the agony of perpetual self-confrontation, the burden of meaning, and the solitude of vision, these are not mere discomforts, but deep existential wounds that shape the awakened soul. They are the crucibles in which true understanding and compassion are forged, the necessary trials for a deeper, more authentic existence. If you found value in this deep dive into the profound challenges of spiritual awakening, remember to like this video, share your own experiences in the comments below, and subscribe for more insights into the human psyche. Your journey is part of the collective story, and together we can illuminate the path.